Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I am welcoming Robin and Jason back. If you guys have watched my previous video, which I'll leave a card for now on free operant environment, I recommend you watch it if you haven't. If you have watched it, you're going to love this one as well. And we're doing a kind of, well, I'll say quick fire. It's going to be about 10 minutes. Talk about diet conversion because it keeps cropping up. People have a lot of struggles with diet conversion with their parrots, especially if they've previously been on all seeds. And I thought I would get some extra advice from experts in the topic who have, well, a lot more to add than I can, hopefully. So, very briefly, Robin, introduce yourself to everyone.
My name's Robin Sullivan, and I own a company called the Leather Elves. I've worked with animals for many years in both zoos and in homes with people with their pets, and diet conversion is an important topic.
Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason Crean, teach at the university level animal nutrition, zoo biology, and associated topics. Also an aviculturist where I raise many different types of species and study them.
Awesome. And Jason's often someone we come to for our nutrition advice as well. And we're going to start coming to for foraging advice to Robin because she's very experienced in this as I'm learning. So I'm glad to have experts on tap when I'm not sure about something. So we're talking about diet conversion today. And as I said in the intro, it's something that keeps cropping up. People struggle with it. You've seen probably some of my videos about diet conversion. And I'm really not going to give my thoughts on this because honestly, you know my thoughts. I'll interject if there's something important, but I wanted to get Robin's and Jason's thoughts on this topic because, yeah, I know you guys struggle with it sometimes and you're not alone. It is a process that can take some time. So just hopefully, if you're watching this video, you don't give up and you keep trying. In fact, that is my bit of wisdom about it. Just keep trying. So, Jason, let's start with your thoughts on diet conversion. How can you help a person who's going through that process and what can you do to just make it a smoother transition?
So there's a lot of avenues here, right? And it really depends on the bird and their experience with food and the owner's patience, if you will. When it comes to diet conversion, I think the very first thing is approaching trusted sources. Don't trust a bag label to tell you what to do or what's healthy. You really want to see like, live living food is really what's best, right? So soaked and sprouted items, fruits and veg and things like that are really important daily, like absolutely need to be in their daily diet. And diversifying that is important. We've talked about portion sizes, and focusing on portion sizes also helps make sure that your bird's consuming the diversity that we want them to, but also that they're not so full from other stuff that they don't need to eat the good stuff, right? So, and I know in previous videos we talked a bit about conversion and making sure that the very first thing in the morning that they see is what you want them to eat. So when I'm feeding birds, and let's just say I get a brand new parrot, um, there is no food in the cage at night. So the very first thing in the morning, if the bird's awake before I am, they can't fill up on something that was left the night before. So I want them to get, soaked and sprouted seeds, some microgreens and leafy greens and a little bit of fruit, maybe some soaked nuts like soaked walnuts, that were soaked overnight in just cool, clean water, something like that, so that that's what they're seeing first. That's what they have access to all day. There's a lot of fear mongering out there that that's all going to spoil very quickly. Cooked and processed food spoils much faster. So like these types of foods, plants have natural defenses. Like they live outside, right? Like they have to survive. So the myth that this food's going to spoil while you're at work is pretty much a myth. But you should focus on what are my birds going to eat within the first couple of hours, and just focus on that. And then don't give in. Don't give in and be like, well, they didn't eat anything in the first couple hours, so I got to run to them with some food because they're going to starve. Your bird's not going to starve in a day, right? Like they will. You can give them some dry food at night, but you need a little bit of tough love, just a little, so that they're that food in the cage that they have to eat. And I know Robin's probably going to talk about modeling and eating with your bird and things like that, but that all of those things can help then get them to recognize those items as food.
Cool. Robin, let's jump straight into your thoughts.
Jason's absolutely right. The first thing I would say is don't give up, because it's scary. It's scary when you decide to do this, because the reality is you don't want your bird to starve to death, and it's that my little baby, it's going to starve. What am I going to do? And so you want to be weighing your bird. Make sure that you're weighing your bird. When you're going through a diet conversion, you can't just assume, yes, they're eating this, because we all know that our parrots are going to toss stuff. They're going to throw things around, and you can go to the bowl. Oh, look, he ate it all. You want to make sure that when you're introducing a new food item, when you're introducing a new form of diet, that you monitor that weight, you monitor their condition, body condition, what's going on with them, so that you are sure that they are indeed getting what they need. And Jason's absolutely right. Don't give in. It's not about being mean. It's about being proactive. We really want them to be healthy. And so if you give in and you turn around and you're like, okay, here you go. Here's the seed mix that I bought at the 5 and dime, and it's garbage. Here you go. But I know you like that. And that's what your little old lady owner gave it before, gave you before. So you want to really think about, what's the goal? You want to keep your eye on the prize with this, and how do you stick with it? And for me, like Jason said, modeling is a really great way to do it. If you've got birds that are already eating a healthy diet, your birds will watch. They are flock mates. If you've got a new bird that you want to convert to a different diet, they'll watch what your other birds are eating. The other thing, so I have people all the time say to me, oh, well, I sit down to dinner and the bird hops on the table and eats my pizza or eats my lasagna. And it's like, oh, no, that's not, no, I know. So that goes back to the old, your grandmother used to tell you food is love. Here, eat some more. Here, have some more. Well, that's not the kind of love we want to give our birds. So if you've got a bird that trying to convert, and he comes down to the table to eat off your plate, you be ready, you be prepared ahead of time that you've got some sprouts on the side of your plate. And then when they come down and they're like, oh, hey, well, I'm going to hang out with you and eat dinner with you. Oh, there's your portion right there. I'll even set you a separate plate right next to mine. And so make a big deal out of it. Make it a positive thing. David and Sophie are always talking about positive reinforcement, and that's the keystone to what we do. And so you've got to make this diet conversion positive, not just because you know that the diet is good for them, but because you want to make it a positive experience for them. So and be careful too, when you're converting to raw or fresh foods, that you don't get sucked into the sugar pit, because that happens. It's like, and I gave them, like David had mentioned in the last video, we 5 grapes and 17 strawberries. My dad loved, I had a black cap caique, and he loved that bird. And I would go to speak somewhere, and I'd be out of town, and I'd come back, and there'd be a piece of leather with like 7 strawberries tied on it. And I was like, Dad, what is this? He's like, oh, he really likes those. I mean, but he didn't need 7 strawberries, so don't get sucked into well, I'm having success with the sugary stuff, so that's what I'm going to feed. So yeah, it's a mind game for us and them.
And really that goes for anything. Too much of anything, it doesn't matter. Too much protein, too much fat, too much sugar. Because like strawberries are really healthy, just like sunflower seeds are really healthy, but they just shouldn't eat a lot of them, right? It gets to that idea of, if you're diversifying the diet, they're not going to eat too much of any one thing. So don't give in and be like 7 strawberries for this tiny bird, right? Like that makes sense. But 1 strawberry a day is great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd echo the sentiments. As I said, just to round these things off, take your time, don't rush, weigh your bird regularly, diversify, as Jason just said, and also by taking your time, if you have to convert slowly, just offering a little bit of that seed initially, that's fine. Just weigh regularly. So this was a very quick fire video. I want to thank Robin and Jason for coming on. It was delightful to have you both on here again and sharing your wisdom. Hope to have you both on the channel again. If you have, I'll leave some resources in the description for both their sort of socials, because Jason has an excellent Facebook group on raw whole food nutrition, and the Leather Elves is an awesome shop with so many sort of foraging toys and great opportunities there. So thanks again for joining me, both of you guys. Thanks all of you for watching, Take care and see you later.